Hello everyone! Today we are looking at a pawn endgame where it's white to move and win. Now, we do have an extra pawn, 2 versus 1. However, white has only one winning move here, and I want you to pause the video, try to find the winning plan here for white, and come back and we will go through together. Good luck! Okay, so what happens if we just try to push our pawn, for example the b pawn? Well, then black is just gonna push its own pawn, and if we continue just pushing the pawns, I will just show you here that this is going to be a draw, because white will be checked endlessly by black, and there is no progress here for white. You can try it yourself against the computer, they're just endless checks. So that is a draw, and if we would try to stop this pawn with the king, king d2 for example, then black will play king f2, and this would help black defend all the important squares for the pawn. So if we try with king d3, then black just plays king f3, and now this pawn is defended properly. And if we try to push our pawn, then of course it's not going to be good. In fact, here I place the king on c3, which is going to be losing because now is a promotion with a check. But yeah, this is also a draw. So it's the same situation as before, endless checks by black. So pushing the b pawn doesn't help, and going for this pawn immediately with king d2 isn't going to help because, as I mentioned before, king f2, and that's going to support this pawn. And white will not be able to achieve anything with that. And if we try to push the h pawn, then once again black pushes the e pawn, and in this race, once again, black promotes with a check, and yeah, there is just going to be endless checks by black once again. It's a draw. So, what's the winning move then? Well, it's actually king to c2, and it might look odd because we just went over king to d2, and that was a draw. So why would king to c2 would be winning? Well, if black were to push the e pawn, for example, then we can go after with king d3, and it's going to be very simple for white to win this. We just grab the pawn, and if black were to play king to f2 to try to support these squares for the pawn, well, now we have to be careful, because if we would try to play king d3, then of course we're back into the same situation as before. But here you just push any of the pawns, the b pawn and the h pawn. E5, b5, and the difference here is going to be that in this pawn race we are promoting before black, and black is not promoting with a check. And here we will be able to win the queen, or trade the queens, and then after h4 this pawn will promote. Yeah, and white will win that. And what if, let's see, after king to c2, so we went over that king f4, just push the pawn. But there is one trick that black has after king to c2, and that is king to g2. It's not king takes h2 either, because this one is easily won by white as well. I just want to show you this one before I show king to g2. Yeah, among other things. But king to g2, so why is this a trick? Well, here if you were to just push the b pawn, then black pushes e-d pawn, b5, e4. It might look as white would still be winning, right? Well, after we promote and black promotes the queen, there is no progress here for white. If we play something, I don't know. Yeah, black just has these checks once again, and there's actually no progress for black. And you can try it out against a computer, but we can't do anything about it. Pushing the h pawn isn't going to do anything. Black can just capture it. So what do we do against king to g2 then? It's to play h4, push the other pawn instead. Instead of the b pawn, we push the h pawn. And now, if black pushes e pawn, continue with pushing the h pawn, and this time we are promoting, and we still have this b pawn that we can win with. So if we try to play queen g7 check, king f1, and here queen d4 check. If black goes with the king somewhere, for example, king to g2, then comes a check where we will be able to trade queens. And yeah, doesn't matter where black goes with the king, we will always be able to trade queens. And yeah, if black tries to block the check, then of course we trade queens, and we will be able to win with this pawn. So the idea was that in this pawn race, we could force a trade of queens. Queen g7, and then it doesn't matter where king goes. I'm not going to show you every variation here, but it always ends up with white being able to trade queens. And yeah, so if we look at this again, queen e3, queen takes e3, how do we win this? Just to show you that this classic pawn endgame. Kings to c3, we shield the black king away, and we take away the squares from black, and yeah, we help supporting this pawn up the board. Just to demonstrate. And now we just push the pawn, and yeah, black can't do anything. And yeah, white wins this. So, did you find king to c2? And after king to g2, did you find h4 was the only winning move? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next chess puzzle. Have a good day.